5 decades ago, the Chauhan family bought this Italian brand Bisleri and brought it to India. Now it's a household name, it's become an eponym. Every time you go to a vendor or you go to a store, you don't say, give me a bottle of water, you say, Bisleri dena. So how has it come to this point now that it's synonymous with a packaged water bottle? It's synonymous with a product almost. Tell us the story behind Bisleri and what makes Bisleri Bisleri.
Sure. I think our chairman and his family have been visionaries that they saw the potential in this category as early as 1969, when paying for water would have been almost a crime at that point in time. And it started with being seeding into the 5-star hotels and those premium locations. And then we moved on from there, getting it into a mass market product. And as the markets have evolved, our chairman has built some of the most legendary brands in the carbonated soft drink space. And we have entered that with spicy limonata and Fonzo. That's also gone into the market. So over the years, we have had One Nation, One Water, Kiss to Drink, and the most recent ones have been the Camel campaigns. Har pani ki bottle Bisleri nahi hai, and Samajhdar Bisleri peete hai, has been the campaigns which we have
That's
run.
probably the reason why it became an eponym and sort of synonymous with being a bottled packaged water product, and everybody calls it Bisleri, not like a bottle of water. So I would like to touch upon your distribution network, like you said, is quite huge, and recently you've had a new plant in UAE. Could you elaborate about that, and what's the rationale behind having a new plant in UAE?
We have a manufacturing arrangement with one of the large manufacturers in UAE. We don't have our own plant, it's a manufacturing arrangement over there.
Okay.
The reason why we are looking at UAE is that there's a very significant portion of the population out there is Indian diaspora.
Right.
And like you said, who are familiar with the brand Bisleri. I don't need to introduce the brand. I need to tell them that now your favorite Bisleri is available at your favorite store. And that's what we are doing in UAE. So we are manufacturing it there and spreading it around the entire United Arab Emirates, all the large towns. And that's going into the market sometime mid-April to May.
Correct. Speaking of, we're in the summer season has begun already, and this time around we could say summer actually arrived earlier. In fact, by mid of February, temperatures were soaring. Most cities have touched even a record mark of 40 degrees. Has that impacted, or has that given impetus to the business? What sort of trends have you seen this summer? Could you give us a little color on that?
Okay. I would say I would step back a little into the pandemic period. I think we actually did great work during the pandemic. In fact, this is one of the companies which did not shut down even for one day during this entire 3-year period. We continued working, serving consumers at home. I think they have more than paid us back and reposed the faith on the brand Bisleri. In fact, our campaign used to say, don't worry, ab khar aayegi Bisleri. And I think this year entirely has been very good for us, because during the pandemic we built capacities. While a lot of people desisted from being positive about the future, we built capacities, which has helped us.
To what extent would you say it has grown?
I would say we have built capacity.
During pandemic and post-pandemic, has it still sustained, or was it just a balloon for a period of time?
No, this whole year has been consistently higher than pre-pandemic levels, much higher than the pre-pandemic levels. Some of the best growths are coming in as we see.
Could you highlight a bit on the volumes? What regions have been doing great in that sense?
Since it's a private company, I'm sorry, I may not be able to share.
Or the rate at which it has grown, probably 3x, 4x.
Yeah, I would say we have doubled our growth rates. Now, there are two things we had done during the pandemic, at the end of the pandemic. We had put together a 4-year vision plan, where during the pandemic there was a lot of learning in terms of going into every minute item to conserve cost in those days. But we also discovered that there's a lot of potential in process efficiency improvement and overall efficiency improvement itself.
Yeah.
And we also discovered what could be the future challenges that are going to come in terms of water availability, in terms of regulatory constraints, in terms of other things. And we said as an organization, we need to kind of prepare ourselves. So we set out a plan where we said in 4 years, we would want to more than double where we are from pre-pandemic levels. During the pandemic, there was a minor dip in sales. And that is rolling as we speak. We are going to end the first year of the vision period in the next 14 days. And we are running ahead of our plans. So the capacity.
What was your target?
Double in 4 years. And we are running ahead of that.
So could you break it down for us, because your portfolio has packaged drinking water, there's carbonated water, there's also like you said, the jars, the larger jars. So in that sense, could you break it down for us, which part of the business has the most amount of contribution from
I would say water itself is our largest chunk of business. Others are sub 10% at this point in time. So one of the objectives during this entire vision period is to get that sub 10% segment, which is both Vedika and the carbonated beverages, about 10% contribution to the business, number one. Number two, also we see
so your packaged drinking water makes for about 80 to 90%.
90% of the business today. Okay, but as we go forward, we would want the other segment to start contributing big in terms of volumes. Even within packaged drinking water, we have identified potential SKUs, which could be runaway winners. And there are some experiments we are doing with SKU sizes. And there have been dramatic learnings for us, for a 50-year-old company, that you put your heart and soul behind a particular SKU and drive it hard, it can just exponentially grow. So we see that as well, and we are targeting specific channels, specific consumption occasions, and driving it hard.
Right. We just want to touch upon different SKUs like you mentioned. Which one is the most high selling one, and also as the CEO of the company, which product is your favorite?
I mean, it's almost like asking your father which child is your favorite. All SKUs are my favorite.
Right.
Because I believe that every SKU or every brand in our portfolio has a specific role to play. And there is a consumer reason for that SKU to exist. So I need to cater to
So
the
which
consumer.
one's doing the best?
The largest volume is obviously the 1 liter pack.
1 liter.
Which is the universal pack in many sense. In terms
In
of
your
value.
tenure, how much has it grown, would you say?
I wouldn't
From those
like
levels.
to disclose, let's say 50% more than the previous growths.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Speaking of, the carbonated business right now, Campa Cola has been introduced in the market, and the Bisleri carbonated business is, like you said, sub 10% of the overall portfolio. How do you see it growing? And I'm sure you want better penetration in terms of cold drinks being sold in the market for Bisleri. How do you see it growing henceforth, and what's the strategy like? And there's this sort of price war that we can see right now in the market. How are you going to compete with these sort of options available?
We have actually been incubating this category for the last few years.
Yes.
So we've been playing around with price points to understand what price points are relevant, and will give you that penetration level. So we got pack sizes at starting at 10 rupee price point onwards, which I think is critical in a market like India, where you require penetration to happen and sampling to happen. So that's going to be a very large chunk of business by itself. So I think more players coming into the category, more noise is nice, because category will start growing, and that's what it has done to the brands and the categories.
Correct. You have in the carbonated business currently, you have spicy, you have Fonzo, you have Limonata. How do you plan to increase the market share going forward, and which regions are you targeting so far?
Limonata has been a great success, because in this category, if you really look at it, it's about the taste profile of your drink and your network in terms of distribution and presence at the point of purchase, which really matter. As we speak, we are in the process of rolling out a few more brands in carbonated beverages, which you will start seeing it in the next few months. In fact, one of them has just been produced yesterday. So in the next week, it will hit the market, and a few more. So I don't want to disclose the name. Maybe you will see it in the market.
So it's going to be something different than the three
Different
that we've
flavors.
done.
Absolutely, different flavors.
One of them is just a new one. Right?
A new one.
Okay, all right. We touched upon how this legacy has turned out over the years, and when the Chauhan family bought it, it was bought at 4 lakh rupees, and now it's come to a point where the valuation has obviously grown. Also, we had Mr. Chauhan on our channel a while ago. There's been talks of the Tata Bisleri deal. What would you say, where is the deal going to go henceforth, and what's the status of it as of now?
I would say, permit me not to respond to market speculation. We at Bisleri are focused on our task on hand at this point in time. We have a vision plan for 4 years. We are completely focused on that. That's number one. Number two, the largest initiative which has happened is about improving our entire sustainability initiatives on the ground. As we speak, we are one of the first FMCG companies in India to be plastic neutral, that we actually recycle more plastic than what we put into the market, and we are water positive, that we replenish more water onto the ground than what we draw. I think we are focused on our business, driving our action plan and agenda for the next 4 years.
But I would like to interrupt you and ask you again. We have had Mr. Ramesh on our channel, and he earlier said that the deal is in talks. Maybe it's at a point.
I can't answer this question. For us, it's business as usual. Chairman, vice chairman, everybody is completely involved day to day in our business operations and guiding us.
Because as we understand, he also did indicate that the values of Bisleri as a company does match the values of the Tata Group, and this whole deal could be beneficial to the company. Also, we understand that someone from the family has to step up, because he's very passionate about what he's built over the years, and he would really like to have someone from the family step up and take over the business. Could we see someone from the Chauhan family stepping up? Is there a possibility of maybe Jayanti Chauhan, getting up the ladder?
Jayanti Chauhan is fully involved in our day-to-day operations and guiding the teams,
right,
and adding value to a lot of work which we are keeping doing around.
So you would say at this point it's on hold, right?
I would not comment on market speculations, please.
What would you say is the future of Bisleri looking like now that after Mr. Chauhan, who would succeed it? Any plans on that, or you're going to just take on the baton and take it forward from here? What does the future of Bisleri look like?
Bisleri is going to go from strength to strength, because see, it is actually resting in one of the fundamentals of this category is practically owned by us, and we are going to strengthen that further. It's about hydration, and everybody requires water. So we want Bisleri to be the first and the only brand that comes to your mind when you think of water. Like
you said, you want to increase capacity. To what extent would you say it's going to grow? And with new plants coming in, especially even in the UAE, where would it take your capacity utilization going forward? Yeah, see, in this category, you need to think a little ahead and expand capacities ahead of your sales, and you need to have enough buffers because sales need to kind of catch up. So as we speak, we are putting in about 3 more new plants of our own, apart from the other manufacturing arrangements that we have with our partners. So that's going to significantly augment capacity even in the current year as we speak, and in the next 2 years we have got our complete plans taped up, and the capex has been fully planned and geared for that. What are the current levels and taking it forward to? I would say we would have a buffer of about 25 to 30% on our targeted volumes. Okay, great talking to you, sir. Thank you very much for speaking to ET Now. Thank you.